Welcome to the 3Haunted podcast, where we bring you all things horror, supernatural, folklore, mythology, and all things that go bump in the night.
What's up, everybody? This is your co-host, Ashley Lunar Goddess, Gorilla Girl filmmaker and horror-loving cinephile. I'm just your average podcast-producing badass.
And I'm John Thomas. If it's haunted, cursed, or just plain weird, I'm into it. From paranormal encounters, urban legends, count me in.
What's up, ghouls, gals, and all of our horror-loving pals? In today's episode, we're diving back into the world of spooky and paranormal with special guest, voice actor, and fellow horror fan Kyle Hebert. Welcome, Kyle Hebert.
Oh, hi, Ashley. It's good to be here.
So, fun fact, Kyle is not only a voice actor, but an amazing convention guest. Been to many conventions with Kyle, and he always does a special thing on Saturdays of the shows. What do you do, Kyle?
I wear my horror pants. I got PJs that has classic horror icons just pasted all over them, front and back.
Love it.
They're glorious. They look so soft. And like he said, they are just plastered with horror icons. And I remember the first time I saw him wearing them at a show, I stopped, walked backwards, turned around and said, I like your pants.
It's just more special with a slight southern twang to it. I like your pants.
I like your pants. And I mean, typically you probably shouldn't say that to people, but when they have amazing spooky pants on, you can't help it.
I mean, I'm kind of like a hoe that way. I'm doing stuff to say, hey, pay attention to my dad joke shirt and my cool PJs.
You do have the best shirts on. But the Saturday spooky pants always win for me.
Yeah, between that and my OnlyFans shirt, which is literally fans, tabletop fans, desk fans.
It's the best. I mean, at least for me, they're fun, but also it kind of entices people to get the selfies, right? Because who wouldn't want a picture with you and your spooky pants and your OnlyFans?
Right. And I'm sitting at the booth, and then when people say, oh, I'm getting a selfie too, and then I stand up, they go, oh my God, your pants.
The pants are great. Now, we brought you here because horror. I mean, and paranormal. I know you have an interest in the paranormal.
I do.
And you just came to the right place because I'm a ghost magnet, and John here is a paranormal investigator. So we have all the paranormal for you.
Oh, dude. Okay, cool.
But first, we're going to do the horror.
Yeah.
Now, for you, have you always been a horror fan, or is this something you kind of developed along the way?
I have always been a horror fan. Absolutely. Some of my earliest memories of watching things I probably shouldn't have because I was, 9, 10 years old, was seeing Alien for the first time and Friday the 13th. And oh my God, it was just amazing. And I actually have memories of watching The Exorcist. I first saw The Exorcist on the TV, network TV, where it was heavily edited. But it's still, your mother sews socks in hell. It's like, why would you sew socks? And then I finally heard the original version. Like, oh, that's why they changed it. Okay.
You're like, I don't understand why that would be torture. Oh.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
My parents weren't really protective that way. They just said, Kyle's going to watch whatever he's going to watch. So I watched a lot of gore and scary things. And I was just fascinated by it. And when I got to high school, I didn't subscribe, but I would go every month to either Walden Books or B. Dalton. Those were, way before Barnes and Noble. And they would be in malls. And I'd go to the mall in the bookstore and hit the magazine rack. And there was Fangoria in all of its glory. And like, I got to get this. Evil Dead, watch this. Oh, sweet. And it's like, yes, I loved all of that. And thank God my parents didn't go through my stuff because they would have seen some blood and guts and been like, our son needs therapy.
See, my mom was the opposite. She introduces all of us to horror. So I grew up watching horror when I shouldn't have been. She absolutely showed me the unedited version of The Exorcist as a child. So I knew exactly what mama was doing in hell. And and like I don't understand what that means. And my mom's like, it's okay. You shouldn't it's good. Don't worry about that. But yeah, it's I grew up on movies I shouldn't have. I mean, I watched Hellraiser as a very young kid. I was allowed to go to Blockbuster because for those of us who were around the Blockbuster time frame, you
Yep.
go in, you look at the covers, which one speaks to you. They had the horror section. So for me, I'm just like I actually had a list going of and just going along through the
Yeah.
alphabet and picking them. And Hellraiser,
I'm
yeah,
Gen X. I saw that opening day. I had read about it in Fangoria, and I knew that Clive Barker, oh, new filmmaker. I want to check this out. And it's like, yeah, I didn't like the other Hellraisers. I liked the part two. I
yeah,
liked part two more than part one, actually.
I agree.
Yeah, something about it. And that Christopher Young score. Oh, dude, that movie score sounds so epic, like it should be on Lord of the Rings or something.
I can't even imagine having seen that in theater. Like that is
Yeah.
Hellraiser is one of my like tops. It doesn't age well. Like I always tell people, if you haven't seen it by now as an adult, probably don't. It doesn't age well. But for those of us that did watch it back then, man, that would be spectacular to see it in theater. And I agree. Second one's better.
I tell you, a great way to consume these classics, some legit and some just like B movie trash, is watch Joe Bob. Joe Bob's Drive-In on Shudder, man. He shows these things and then he cuts to these segments and gives you tons of cool trivia and
Really?
basically embraces why this movie's awful because of this, and that. And it's like, kindred spirits. Yes.
I have actually never heard of that. Joe Bob's.
Yep. Joe Bob was he may still be, although he's got fame now because of the success on Shudder. He was a movie critic, and he would write a weekly column and basically, very smart dude, actually, and go into just basic pop culture things. But he would mostly focus on B movie, trash, cult films, things that didn't get a wide release. And, he's a big proponent of drive-in, going to the drive-in and having that, because that's a whole experience. It's different than going to a theater. And a lot of people of the newer generations don't know what going to a drive-in's like, but I do, because I'm Gen X. I'm old. I'm vintage.
I'm vintage. I'm going to start using that. I'm vintage.
I'm vintage, man. I'm classic rock.
Yeah, I feel like there are some that if it's in theater, I make it a point to go out of my way to go see it. And The Lost Boys is one. Like that's just my number one film. So I don't care where it's at. I will
Oh,
go out of my way to see it.
I saw Lost Boys opening day as well. I had just graduated high school, I believe.
What?
Yeah, I saw that opening day. It's like, this is awesome.
I was so different too because it was visually just like a music video, but then you have the actual music and you have vampires and sex and rock and roll and I can't imagine.
Cry Little Sister, and I still believe the big muscle oiled sax player. Like, why is this in here? I don't know, but it's awesome.
I still want to know how that came about, like in the writer's room or casting. Like, where at what point were they like, we need an oiled up saxophone player? Like, do you think it was in the script? It was in the script notes, or it was just, music, concert on the beach, and then at some point someone's like, yes, that guy, but put oil on him.
Well, maybe John here can tell us if any paranormal investigations have led to seeing oiled up, muscle bound sax players.
uh, Not that I'm aware of, but yeah. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he was actually out performing on the beach and they just saw him and they're like, oh, yeah, we need that guy.
Yeah, record this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, late 80s, man. That I thought Kiefer Sutherland looked so cool. I know it's a mullet and people laugh at mullets, but back then I thought it was awesome. It's like, man, I want to grow my hair like that. I want to dye it blonde and I want to be cool like Kiefer Sutherland.
I think it really had to do with the voice because imagine if you gave him a lighter voice and like he came in with the mullet and like the baby cherub cheeks and he's like, "Hey guys, be one of us." Like
You're only noodles, Michael.
Maggots.
You're
You're
only
eating
noodles.
maggots.
you're eating maggots, Michael. Like
Michael.
Eating maggots.
I mean, you have his deep, throaty Kiefer laugh, and it's like he probably could have pink, neon green hair, and it wouldn't have mattered. I feel like the
No.
voice sold that.
Voices are absolutely key, which is kind of funny. Like if you watch Interview with a Vampire, it's like as great as Tom Cruise is and everything, I don't think he was the best choice for Lestat.
No.
Oh, I'm thinking about that.
Again, I'm older. I'm Gen X, so I'm looking at things through different eyes. But I enjoyed that movie. I saw that opening day too.
Yeah, I think the only reason he was able to sell it for me was just his ability to emote through his eyes. Because to your point, there was just like this super softness about him that just didn't quite land as this menacing Lestat vampire character. However, I think his ability to emote the anger, the rage, the jealousy gave it enough. I wouldn't say, like you said, it wasn't the best choice, but it landed fine.
Well, they took a swing, and it was like let's cast against type. Let's try something different. It's like, okay, I respect that. That's fine.
He was still a better choice than Stuart Townsend in Queen of the Damned. Like, I don't know what happened there.
I did
Yeah,
not even
no.
see that. That just looked awful.
You're okay missing it. Like
Yeah.
I loved Aaliyah as Akasha. I think she was sexy. She was menacing. She was scary. She was the perfect Akasha. And I almost said cosplay. This is the world we live in. I was her for Halloween in high school, but
Nice.
that's probably the only redeeming thing about that movie was Aaliyah as Akasha. I don't think that was as solid. I'd like to see them attempt Queen of the Damned again. They really failed that story.
Well, I think AMC, aren't they going to have a new Lestat series because they had Interview with a Vampire? Or
They have the Immortals coming out,
Yeah.
based on like the Talamascu, but I don't know about Lestat. Maybe they should definitely give Anne Rice a true effort.
Yeah.
Her books were spectacular. Anybody that's read Anne Rice, like they were really well written and did a great thing for the vampire universe, but the movies just haven't landed.
Yeah. But I tell you, while we're on the subject of vampires, Jack O'Connell in Sinners.
Oh.
Sinners is so great on so many levels. And, having an ancient Irish vampire
Doing a jig and somehow it's scary.
picked up poor Robin clean. Picked poor Robin clean. Yep. Good stuff.
I love that. And I know they said they aren't, or okay, I'll walk that back. I know Ryan said that's a standalone film, but ultimately, if Warner Brothers decides to go and take it out further, that's going to be what they're going to do. But like, I know a lot of people would like to see the origin story of Jack. I mean,
Totally.
it's not often you kind of understand and root for a very big villain because he wasn't like this anti-hero, right? That it's like,
Right.
oh yeah, I'm very sympathetic towards you. And here's why. It's just like, you are a bad guy, but I don't want you to lose.
That's how you know you got good writing right there. because
Yes.
There's no such thing as black and white, just shades of gray. It's like, I'm not wrong. I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Right? It's like the first time a character has ever convinced you why like complete assimilation might not be such a bad idea.
That's true. It's like, okay, yeah, I don't want to die, but living forever, if your love, your spouse, your whatever is not also a vampire, they're gonna grow old and die, and it's gonna be like Highlander. It's like they're just gonna be, man, that's just depressing.
This is just rough. Now, I feel like 2025
Yeah.
is, and I keep repeating this, I know, but I do feel like 2025 is a phenomenal year for horror and for
Yes.
fresh horror, new
Yeah.
horror.
I liked Bring Her Back, from the Philippou brothers who did
Mhm.
Talk to Me. It's not as good, but I still really liked it. It was creepy. And of course, Weapons really made a big splash, and I liked Weapons a lot.
Did you see Conjuring: The Last Rites yet?
No, but it just hit streaming, not like on the movie services, but to rent or buy. I don't know if I want to do
Mhm.
either of those, but the turnaround's pretty fast. I thought the third one was awful.
Yeah, the third
But
one
1 and
wasn't
2 were
great.
really, really good. So I'm curious if they can just bring it home with the
The
4. I
last
don't
one
know.
was
Did you
really
see it?
good. I liked it.
Was it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I actually went and saw it at theater. I went to one of the conventions and they were doing like a last showing, and I was like, "Screw it, I'll do it." And they had it with ticket prices were on sale because it was about to leave theater.
Sure.
So I went and saw it, and there was nobody else in the theater, which I don't know if that makes it better or worse. It's
Yeah, that's weird.
because it's like if this is terrifying, that's going to be extra scary being in this big theater all by yourself. However, it was great and glorious, but it doesn't top the first. I don't think any of them are going to top the first one, but I did enjoy it. I was
Right.
entertained. I did like the story.
Yeah, when you're making all these sequels, I get why they do it because let's capture lightning in a bottle again. But yeah, can you recreate the greatness of The Exorcist? I mean, even with Mike Flanagan producing or directing this new one, I'm interested, and of course, I'll probably go see it because he's awesome. But unless he just totally just puts a brand new spin on it, which he probably will, I don't know that you can capture that sort of magic again.
I just wish they'd leave these alone. I'm going to be honest, especially the
Yeah.
iconic films that contribute to the canon, right?
Yeah,
Like The Exorcist and The Thing and Alien and all of these things that were the first of
yeah.
their specific, like they are the archetypes that started it. And to be like, you know what? Let's do it again, but I could do it better. It's like, I don't think you can.
Yeah.
I think they tried with Exorcist Believer, and that was it was. I liked the concept, but I don't think that it went very well.
Yeah, and David Gordon Green also did the Halloween trilogy, which I like the 2018 one a lot.
I like that one and Halloween Kills, but Halloween Ends, nope, done.
I've yet to encounter one single person that thought Ends was like, this is amazing.
No, I don't know what they were thinking.
I guess a point that I want to bring back is it's like, how do you recreate the magic that an original movie did? And that's something I think Alien Earth, the TV series, I thought it was phenomenal. But what it did was the show got hijacked. The xenomorph got hijacked by another alien species that's very interesting and no one saw coming. It's like, this is not to talk spoilers really, but it's like, oh, this is cool because I don't know what this thing is and what it's going to do and what are the different stages and like because that's what Alien was back in 79. Everyone watching that for the first time going, oh my god, what is this?
Yeah, when it introduces something new, like you said, it's what are you going to do to it to make it fresh, to add to it? Because when it's just, let's just redo it and hope we capture that again, like you're not going to, because part of the magic was that it was the first of its kind for a lot of these films. So you can't recapture that new feeling unless you introduce something new, unless you put a twist on it.
And James Cameron totally reinvented Alien by turning it into an action film, whereas Alien is pretty much just a haunted house movie and one of the best ones ever made. It just happens to be sci-fi.
Speaking of haunted houses, do
Mhm.
you have any specific movies that deal with hauntings that you're a fan of?
Haunted house stuff, ghosts. Like, I'm interested in all that, but I was about to say Blair Witch, but that's a witch. I like found footage too. Ghost movies. We're gonna have to just throw out names, and I'll go, "Oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, that."
Were you a fan
Uh,
of like the Poltergeist movies?
the very first one.
Okay.
I saw the second one in the theater. I saw the first one in the theater too. Actually, I saw it twice. The second one, I was all excited for it. It's like H.R. Giger did the designs. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. And then not so much. And I never saw 3. And I was, I guess, just too sad that that movie Curse with the real actresses passing away in horrible circumstances. But I tell you that the magic of the Toby Hooper movie, Poltergeist 1. Which Toby Hooper swears he did direct it, even though it totally feels like Spielberg did.
But he swears.
He swears. Yeah, Jo Beth Williams, swimming in the pool with all the skeletons, and then they say, "Oh, by the way, those are real," because they're cheaper than making fake ones.
I think I'd be pretty traumatized. I'm not gonna lie. Go home and take 20 showers. You just swam with skeletons of actual dead bodies.
Yeah, but I think Poltergeist is amazing and still holds up. And what's even more impressive, it probably shouldn't have been, but it was rated PG. And it had some impressive levels of gore for a PG movie. PG-13 had been invented yet. And it's like, how did this, just like Jaws was like, how is this PG?
Because there's no sex.
There's no sex. There's a totally naked woman in the beginning, but it's not in a sexual context.
I meant for Poltergeist.
Oh, sorry, Poltergeist. Oh yeah, Poltergeist. Yes, there's no sex in that, but
I mean, you think about even with like a naked woman or a naked body, you think about in regards to comparison to other films. I mean, you had Friday the 13th and Halloween, not from Jaws, but like in the 80s, and like the amount of sex and nudity that was in there. It's like, well, of course, this is PG-13 or PG compared to that stuff.
Sure. And when you're little watching these movies, you don't think about thematically. It's like, oh, this is making some sort of societal judgment. It's like, if you have premarital sex, you deserve to die.
Moral of the story is, guys, if you're doing drugs, you're drinking, you're having sex, you deserve to die in the worst way possible. So
that's right.
But if you stay a virgin, you could be a final girl. John, do you want to be a final girl?
Always.
He's got 2 kids. It's too late for him.
Damn it.
Hashtag goals. I want to be a final girl.
I want to be a final girl. I want to be a scream queen.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't think I'd last very long. I've got a lot of things going against me. I don't know. I guess that brings up a good point. Okay. What are the new rules of horror? Because back in the day, to be a final girl or to be a final person, there were a lot of things you couldn't do or be to live at the end. But now that we're in 2025, have those changed or is it the same?
Yeah, well, to avoid being cliche and just retreading the same old thing, the filmmakers and writers really are kind of pushed in the best way possible to think outside the box and try new things. And it's like, it's exciting. It's the wild, wild west. If things don't have hard and fast rules, then you can try new things that you never thought would have worked and probably wouldn't have worked had they been in the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of slasher flicks lately. And that's not typically the genre that's my go-to or subgenre of horror, but I've had nothing but time the past few weeks. So streaming has been my best friend. And
yes.
Yeah, watching the slasher flicks, I've been trying to gauge, are they playing by new rules? Have they gotten rid? Is it the Wild West now? And I don't think I've picked up on any at the moment.
I haven't seen them, but The Strangers just had part 2 and they had a part 1 earlier this year or whatever. And people just said it's awful and 2's even worse. It's like, I guess it seems that in that failed experiment, they're just retreading. They're just going to do the paint by numbers thing. And it's like, no, people want more. You really have to try.
You have to give it a good, honest effort.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they filmed 3 of them back to back, and they were supposed to release, the third one was supposed to release this year when the second one did. But now it's going to be released next year. So they're finally releasing all of them, but I don't know.
Maybe they'll go straight to streaming because they weren't hits either. Not only were they critically bad, no one showed up.
Yeah, I've heard mixed reviews on the second one. Some said that it was better than the first, but the first one was just like a remake of the other one, so it wasn't. I don't know.
Which one wasn't I wasn't a big fan of, and I know a lot of people, like, it had a big following. A lot of people loved The Black Phone.
Oh, I loved it.
Um, and I just it's not a bad movie, it just it's one that I was really into, but I watched the previews for the second one that's coming out, and it
Yes.
felt very, like, Nightmare on Elm Street for me, so
Yeah.
I actually want to see that one. That one looks exciting for me, but that's because again, it kinda reminds me of Freddy, so
Exactly.
Nice. Yeah, I also was kinda let down by Black Phone. I think the acting is really strong, I like the concept and everything, but it just didn't totally work for me. Black Phone
Yeah,
2 might like you said, I'm kind of curious
yeah.
to
We'll
give it a go.
we're gonna have to give it a go because and I'm curious now because you and I are kind of similar. We didn't quite connect with the first one. How we're gonna feel with the second one? For me, because it is reminding me, granted, just the trailer, but because it is reminding me of Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm kind of excited because I love me some Freddy. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
My favorite Freddy's actually Dream Warriors.
Same.
Rockin' with Dockin', man.
Love Dream Warriors.
Saw that opening weekend too in the theater.
You know, you are my hero.
I'm vintage.
Vintage. I'm gonna get you a shirt that says vintage.
Vintage, man. 1969.
And in the back, it's
Woo!
gonna say, "Saw it all in theater."
I did. I'm like a movie snob hipster. Like, I saw it in theaters, but I saw it before streaming. Ooh.
Now, my question to you is because you've grown up on horror and you're a big
Yes.
horror fan, do
Mhm.
any movies scare you?
Yeah, The Exorcist truly got to me, and I don't know if it's because I grew up Catholic. I kind of fell
That's why.
away from religion altogether, but the Catholic iconography and the ideas, because I hear other people that are like either Protestant or not religious at all, or and saying The Exorcist is hilarious. It's like, is it? Because there's the disconnect, kind of like us old Gen Xers loving the original Star Wars trilogy and hating the prequels, but the kids these days, the prequels was their Star Wars trilogy. Harry Potter is their Star Wars. Lord of the Rings is their Star Wars. And it's like, okay, those are good, but it's not old Star Wars, generational thing, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you because The Exorcist for me really freaked me out. But any of the possession films do that to me to some extent. I don't, I feel like because I did grow up in the South. And so having like the heavy religion from both sides of my families, the baptism, or not the baptism, the Baptists, as well as like the kind of Spanish evangelical, even if I don't necessarily hold to those, like,
Right.
doctrines, part of me, I feel like that sunk in, and so
Yeah.
as a kid, I watched those and I'm like, "I don't think that's real, but
Yeah.
maybe."
Yeah, I think The Exorcist stands the test of time. I think the creepy atmosphere of Texas Chainsaw
Yeah,
still
yeah.
totally works. It feels like an old nasty documentary that someone found in a film canister, and you feel like you're almost watching a snuff film or something. And yeah, there's again Toby Hooper that Spielberg had nothing to do with this time. But yeah, that holds up. Yeah.
I did a lot of driving through Texas as a kid. I grew up in Texas, and we did a lot of, like, travel softball and travel volleyball, and driving through those towns after watching Texas Chainsaw was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Yep." My mom is she'd refuse to get gas in those small towns. For her being the horror queen, she's like, "Nope, we gotta fill up in this big town. We're not stopping in those little towns."
She knows the rules.
Yeah, and I'm originally from Louisiana, and then my parents, as soon as I was born, basically moved to Dallas. So I grew up in Dallas, and we'd go visit family in Louisiana, and we cut through East Texas to get there. So I would see middle of nowhere type of things like Texas Chainsaw, and we would get barbecue sandwiches. And I now putting it together, it's like, oh, where is this meat actually from?
We're like, "I didn't see any cows in those fields."
Hmm.
Hmm.
And I gotta say, even though I didn't really find it scary, I just thought it was well made, was the Texas Chainsaw remake. I think that's a really good one.
Yeah, that one is a good one.
I thought the Friday the 13th one was pretty fun. The
It
early
was.
2000s.
Yeah, I like that one better than the original. Go figure. But
I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big Jason person. Like, I've watched them all, but
yeah, give me Freddy any day.
yes.
Absolutely. I never saw New Nightmare though. I think I gave up after Dream Child.
Oh, New Nightmare is the best one. I got to meet Heather Langenkamp when she was here for
Yeah.
a horror festival, and I
Uh-huh.
was talking to her about it, and I told her, I was like, a lot of people really didn't like that one, but I think that's one of the better ones out of all of them, and doesn't get enough. Like,
I know it's really
praise.
it's break the wall, break the fourth wall kind of thing,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, it's a very meta. I mean, they're making Nightmare on Elm Street and Freddy crosses over and is now haunting her. I like the idea, right? Because
Yeah.
you think about as films are being made, you hear about like people experiencing paranormal things while they're filming ghost movies
Yeah.
or possession movies, and they start experiencing things at home and they're like, I don't know what's happening, but this is kind of creeping me out. So then for this horror film to take that and say, okay, let's write a movie based on that kind of concept that like, hey, you're filming this dark, twisted stuff. What if it actually kind of starts to come true?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
liked it. I like New Nightmare. And I do like that it breaks the fourth wall because I think it gets to you even more with like, oh my gosh, Freddy could be real.
Yeah. And then when they do things like Freddy versus Jason, I know there's no way in hell that could be scary. It's more just about fun.
It's good.
Yeah,
fun.
I think that was fan service right there for sure, because people wanted it for so long, and then they finally got it, and then it was like, it was okay, but
Nah, I thought it was hilarious.
it was great, but like I don't know. Jason shouldn't have won, but whatever.
He didn't win.
He kind of did, ish.
Okay, so if you had to pair up the icons against each other, a la Freddy versus Jason, who would you think like would be a good match?
Golly. Well, I love Bruce Campbell, so you got to have Ash Williams do something. He may do it poorly, but it's going to be entertaining.
With his boomstick.
That's right. Boomstick. Shop smart. Shop S-smart.
I'd like to see him go against the Predator.
Oh, that would be over so fast.
Maybe, because I feel like he gets lucky. So
2-minute movie. Yeah. Done.
He's so slapstick, he would just trip and the laser would miss him just barely.
exactly. He would get so lucky and the Predator would be so frustrated.
Yeah, the people from his home planet are like, this one's not worth it. He's too stupid. You're not you don't want that trophy. It's worth nothing.
Or you could pair him against like the Leprechaun.
That would be something to see.
No, Art the clown.
Oh, even
better.
better.
Okay, he wouldn't stand a chance.
Yeah, I know. And because Art doesn't just kill you and it's done. He takes his time.
You want to see him take his time with Ash?
Yeah, that'd be great.
I love the yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
I would like to see Freddy paired against Pinhead.
There you go.
Pinhead. Yeah.
I think those two would be an interesting pairing because, like, who the heck would win in that?
Yeah. It's like the dream dimension and the hell dimension.
Because he could threaten to torture Freddy and, like, ultimate pain, but
yeah.
I don't see that really scaring Freddy. I don't know. I could see Freddy being down for that. Like suddenly he's married to one of the Cenobites. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, there is the one female Cenobite. If he is drawn that way, then
if he's drawn that way. Yeah, I don't know. But I feel like Freddy, because he knows and identifies people's fears, he would be able to like really hone in on Pinhead's fear and just isolate it and go in on it really quickly.
It just snapped in my head. Pennywise against Freddy. Because they're both about dreams and living on fear.
And fear, yeah. What would be Pennywise's fear? I mean, I think maybe they both have the same fear. No children to feed on.
Well, I guess this is why we have to watch that Welcome to Derry show. 'Cause I
Yeah.
guess it is a prequel.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it will give some insight.
I'm about it. I'm in.
Yeah.
It's like, how does he make his one eye go slightly to the right?
I need answers on these party tricks.
He got kicked by a
Inquiring
mule.
minds
I
want to
don't
know.
know.
Yeah.
In dairy?
Why not?
And why only dairy? Or does he only exist in dairy during that specific time and then maybe he goes somewhere else?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. But
A
there's all
lot of
sorts of
questions.
weird concepts that are left in the book, and maybe it's for the best. Like, oh, there's a giant cosmic turtle. And like, what? I don't think there's a way you can make that work in the movie. And having all the kids do bad things to each other
Yeah,
because it's
there's
in the
that.
book. It's like, no, this is just wrong.
It's too far.
Too far.
Kind of makes you wonder if Stephen King was in his experimental drug phase during that book writing.
Oh, dude was coked out of his mind. He had to be. It's like my wife says about just about anyone. It's like, oh, they need therapy.
Horror is their therapy, though. I feel like most
is.
horror filmmakers are pretty even natured when it comes to like temper and just overall nature, their general nature. And I feel like that's just because we get most of our crazy out cathartically, like through the horror writing and the horror viewing.
Yeah. And I'm a big metal fan, and I get, as my wife calls it, screamy music. It's like, why do you like that? And it's like, I find it very calming, and I can decompress, and I just love the vibe. And metal fans are some of the nicest people you could ever meet.
It's true. I just tried a new restaurant here. It's called the Brutal Poodle, and I feel like you would totally love it. They play metal music in the restaurant. All of their dishes are themed after metal songs, like titles of songs, and they play horror movies on their screens.
Oh, that's cool. There's a zombie themed restaurant in Des Moines, Iowa, and I didn't go there, but I did Postmate because usually after a con, I'm too tired at the end of the day,
Right.
so I'll have Uber Eats deliver something to the hotel and something called Zombie Burger.
I was gonna say it was a zombie burger.
It was the best. Oh my god, it was amazing to just have all of these undead Elvis, T virus. 28 days later, the cremator. They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Oh my gosh.
Planet Terror, Heldorado, the poultry,
Eldorado.
the Poultrygeist. That's hand breaded fried chicken. So, Army of Darkness is one.
Which one did you try?
Oh God, it was something with peanut butter on it. I gotta find it. I love a peanut butter burger. Peanut butter, fried bananas. Oh, it's the Undead Elvis. Peanut butter, fried bananas, bacon, cheese, egg, and mayo.
The Undead King.
I mean, Elvis wasn't zombie themed, but so they just threw in undead. It's like, oh, now he's just a zombie. Oh,
Oh my gosh. I have never tried a peanut butter burger. I can't even say it.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things you think shouldn't work, and then people eat sweet and sour stuff all the time, so it's just kind of an extension of that.
And yet,
Sweet and salty, like payday bars.
it's a payday burger.
Yeah.
Do you have any subgenre within the horror genre that you steer away from or just like isn't your favorite?
I don't necessarily hate it. It doesn't interest me as much. Is the slasher film? I'm more interested in demonic stuff, supernatural. I love found footage. I know other people get motion sickness from it, but I never have. I just love that. I love the VHS series on Shudder. I look forward to that because every year they drop new shorts and sometimes they're directors you've actually heard of, like, or they put a unique spin on things, and I really enjoy that. Um, Genres that I don't care for normally, like PG-13 horror movies, because when they sanitize it too much, just because they just want to get butts in seats and reach a bigger audience, it's like, oh, I think they're cutting the balls off this one.
That's going to be your new horror shirt is hardcore horror.
Yes. Like, would Terrifier work if it was PG?
Absolutely not.
Not even close.
And yeah, like my wife is all about supernatural stuff, but blood and gore, no. So she didn't really care for Terrifier. She didn't see 2 or 3, and I love Terrifier. I love the gore. I love all subgenres, honestly. Um, some things are a little played out at this point, the zombie stuff, the possession stuff. It's like they're not really bringing something totally new to the table. But, I'll go see 28 years later the Bone Temple. But do I think it's going to reinvent things? No.
It almost sounds like an Indiana Jones film.
The Bone
The
Temple.
Bone Temple.
What's that? What's it called? Bone Lake? Boner Lake? It's a horror movie, but
I didn't realize how many naughty horror movies there were out there until I was flipping through my streaming channels, and I just under the horror genre and how many titles. I'm like, strippers and zombies, strippers and vampires, strippers, and I'm like, okay, I see a theme here.
Yeah.
they're trying to do things like I have no interest in the Five Nights at Freddy's things. I just, theme park attractions turn evil, possessed. I was never into Chucky. I just didn't care for Child's Play, so I never watched the sequels or the Chucky series and all that. And I know it's got its following. It just doesn't really resonate with me.
Yeah, doll movies really don't do it for me too much.
Yeah. Like I liked Annabelle, fine, but I'm not going to say that's my go-to, because even that's been done to death. Here's a possessed doll.
There's only one Annabelle that I enjoyed because it's so hard for me to take seriously the stationary object that people are terrified of. And it's just like sitting there. Now it's in another room and now it's on the ceiling. And I'm like, guys, this is just, I can't. But and then with Chucky, he's running in his little kid shoes, and I'm like, just punt the dude. And it doesn't scare me, I guess for Chucky, at least he's got the humorous potty mouth that cracks me up, like when he calls her a slut. But for Annabelle, she's just this doll that just sits there and people are scared and crying. The only Annabelle that I really enjoyed, that I found entertaining, was it the Origin one? Annabelle Origins, where they're in the farmhouse with the orphans.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And because that to me was more demonic, that was more possession, things happening in the house outside of the doll.
Mhm.
And I'm like,
Right.
oh, okay, I'm kind of enjoying this one. But
Yeah.
when it's just Annabelle in an apartment on a ceiling and the doors closed and then she's sitting on a chair, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, the original wasn't that scary. I did like the Origins, and then I liked Annabelle Comes Home, the third one.
Yeah.
That
I
one
like
was
the
pretty
third
good
one as well. Yeah.
because it takes place in the Warrens' house,
Yeah.
basically. And yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. I found it very interesting that the real Annabelle is just a Raggedy Ann doll, but they couldn't get the rights to it. So they just made a really creepy, looking doll. But if you look into the story, it's like, oh, The Conjuring, Ed and Lorraine Warren, it's a great story. But when you look into the real story, it's like, oh, they were a con artist. And they were, I mean, okay.
I have thoughts and feelings about the Warrens. John
Yeah.
knows this. There is a reason that we haven't done an episode on Ed and Lorraine Warren, because I will probably get the entire paranormal community trying to burn my house down. But
Yes, and there are definitely some things that I don't like about them, but yeah, and that's what Ashley's talking about. But
I will say, as much as I may not be a supporter of the individuals that these movies are based on, I am a big fan of the universe that's been created,
Sure.
of the Conjuring universe and the Nun, and even the Annabelle movies. There's just the universes themselves. I'm like, wow, this is really entertaining. Really good writers and directors and
Yeah.
filmmakers. And so I will say that, as much as I may not be a big proponent of the actual reality that it's based in, and the fact that most of it is probably not that real, I do love what the filmmakers have done with those stories as inspiration to create these really fucked up horror movies. I mean, that first Conjuring movie really got to me. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
Yeah.
lie.
It still does, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, the whole paranormal investigating thing kind of to segue into my interest in the
Yes.
paranormal.
Wonderful
Mhm.
segue.
So maybe John can elaborate here, but it seems like, and maybe I'm just too skeptical or jaded, when you're watching something like a horror movie, and maybe it's just any movie, music and editing totally affect. You could be mentally manipulated, and that's what you want as a filmmaker, to be able to have a jump scare or make you feel a certain way with a music cue and all that. And I have a feeling that I want to believe that there's all this strange, unexplainable things going on in supposedly haunted areas. But when nothing happens, I'm just figuring they're sitting in the editing room. It's like, here, just add a jump scare, a music sting here, and we'll just zoom in and out and shake the cam a lot. And it's like, oh my God, what's that? And,
Are we talking about in terms of like paranormal TV shows, like the reality
yes.
shows?
Yeah, ghost hunters, any sort of that ilk.
Got it.
Yeah. I mean, half the time when you're investigating, it does get boring. I mean, you're there for hours, and sometimes nothing happens, and sometimes stuff will happen. So, editing for sure, they have to edit a lot because they have to make it interesting. And there are certain
Yeah.
shows that I'm sure will fake stuff, even though they say they don't. But yeah, I've been to a couple of the places that have been on the shows, and I've had experiences there myself. So I believe that most of the places that I've been to are actually haunted and not
Mm.
faked or anything else. So yeah.
Okay. Because my interest was never sparked from, oh, something supernatural happened that I can't explain. I've never had a paranormal experience. I've never seen a ghost or what I thought was a ghost. You hear a loud bump in the night, there's a million logical, reality, scientifically
Oh
based,
yeah.
explanations for that. But I am intrigued because the power of the imagination, man, you just don't know what's out there. So yeah, that whole thing, and the concept of is it called a spirit box? Basically, the radio that
Yeah.
that picks up the radio waves and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, there's apps in the app store and all that. I mean, I guess that's just for fun. I don't know. It's like it's just getting radio signals.
Yeah. The apps on the phone, I'm iffy about, especially on the phone or the computer. I don't know, but I do own a spirit box, and there was one time I was like, I just wanted to test it out, and my son's mom had passed away, and I was actually picking up my daughter from school one day, and I had it with me, and I had it hooked up into the car. I was like, I'm just going to turn it on. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to see what happens. And I kid you not, I heard her voice come through and say my name. And that freaked me out. It was like the realest experience that I've had with the spirit box ever. So, and I had recorded it too. So, like, I could hear it over and over again. And it was definitely her voice. And to say my name, after asking questions too, was just, whew, yeah.
Yeah, and EVPs, electronic voice phenomenon. I'm fascinated by that. I would listen to old Art Bell
Oh, yeah.
episodes, and
Yep.
they'd play back all that stuff. And it's like sometimes you can make out what they tell you, or is it your
Mhm.
mind automatically, like with backmasking on albums? It's like, it says My Sweet Satan, and they play Stairway to Heaven backwards, and it sounds like My Sweet Satan because you
Yeah.
were told it sounds like My Sweet Satan.
If I hear like something that I think is an EVP, I won't tell whoever I have listened to it what I think it sounds like. I'll let them, say it themselves. And then if it's the same, then yeah.
Okay. Ashley, have you ever heard an EVP or what you?
We've actually gotten a few recording the podcast.
Ooh.
And that's freaked me out because I am the one that edits them. So
Yep.
I will be typically editing in the middle of the night. So when you hear something that you're like, hold on, what is that? And turning up the audio, and then you've got to run it through a processor to boost the audio even more to figure
Yes.
out what in the world am I hearing. And then you hear it loud and clearly. It's like, oh, Now, that freaks me out. Then, of course, I send it to the guys and they're like, what did that? And they'll repeat, why did that just say that? I'm like, okay, so that, all right, well, that's what you heard. To the point I've, as much as I do believe in the paranormal, I am very, very, very skeptical
Me too. Yeah.
until like I've exhausted everything that I can. And even then, sometimes I'm like, if it's real. Uh, but once I believe, I believe. But we had an instance where we were recording with a guest. We were all kind of away from our microphones. We've got the video recording and she's talking to one of our other hosts and she's like, yeah, that ghost, that was your ghost. And as I'm editing, I could hear something almost like a hissing. So when I boosted the audio, because I'm like, did the electric, is there some back feeding going on? Once I boosted it all the way, it was like, so and so's your ghost. And then the boosted audio, you can hear a feminine voice into the microphone say yes. And it was like their mouth was pressed against the microphone. And so I went back to the video, to that specific part, because I isolated it to which track, because it records individual tracks. Whose track is this coming from? Then I went back to the video to watch everybody in that specific spot.
Yeah.
And see, did someone lean forward when I wasn't realizing it? What's going on? And in that specific moment, she's saying it, she's gesturing, she's actually far away, so you can hear her echoing in her room.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, so and so's your ghost. And everyone's like, ha ha ha. Nobody says yes. Nobody's leaning in. But it is clearly coming from her microphone, someone saying yes.
And the fact that it didn't
Wow.
sound like any of us either at all.
And it
Huh.
was a female voice. So there was only two
Yeah.
females
Yep,
on
you
that.
and the
And
guest.
yep. And we were both away from our mics. And I was like, I don't like this. I left it in there though. I did leave it in there. So
Yep.
Yeah. So, since I'm in the world of voice acting and I deal with audio equipment where, the mics are so sensitive they can hear your food digesting. We've got clear 4K cameras and perfect light. How come we don't have clear EVPs that sound as crystal clear as someone speaking into a mic, like right now on a podcast? How come there's none of that? It's always very analog and sounds like it's over a phone or an AM radio.
it's a good question. But I almost wonder if it were that clear,
Mm-hmm.
why we then wouldn't be able to hear it with our own audible ears. Because most
Right.
EVPs, you have to play back, right? Like you're not hearing it in the moment. People are asking questions in their investigations, and then they have to re-listen to their audio to see if anything responded later because you're not hearing it in the moment. So that's a great question. Why, if it's being picked up by this equipment, do we not hear it in the moment?
Yeah, like I've got a $350 Apogee mic. It's a USB mic, and I do auditions when I'm at a hotel or whatever. I make a little pillow for it, and I do that. But this little thing that fits in your hand, why wouldn't people just use a mic that's that sensitive? And yeah, I mean, John, in the work you do, yeah, you have to study what 8-10+ hours of video and audio.
Yeah, it just depends on how much you're actually recording. One of my favorite things to do, and one of my favorite places that I've been to was Waverly Hills. And I hit record on my audio recorder as we were just setting things up. And it's amazing the amount of EVPs that I got from just setting things up, just setting up equipment, because you can hear them in the background. They're curious as well. So you can hear them talking. And sometimes you hear them talking to each other, like the different
Yeah.
spirits would talk to each other, which is really weird. But yeah, I mean, I've gotten a lot of EVPs from Waverly Hills that were just amazing. Like we were standing in a hallway watching the shadow figures kind of like play hide and seek with us from one end of the hallway to the other. And one of our investigators is kind of freaked out. Doesn't really like to be touched by anything that she can't see.
Nor should she.
Right? She was starting to freak out. She's like, "Oh my god, I can feel him come closer." And then I didn't hear this at the time, but going back and listening to it after she said that, there was a voice that said behind you. And at that time, because I was standing next to her during this whole thing, I was standing next to her. I actually felt my shirt kind of go in the direction
Ooh.
that we ended up looking. So, like, all of that adding up was just freaking amazing.
Yeah. I think it's also really interesting when there's huge changes in temperature. People feel
Yes.
walking in, stepping into something that's super cold.
Oh yeah, the cold spots for sure. Yep, I've had that here at the Stanley Hotel as well. Just walking down the hallway, all of a sudden it'd be like freezing cold, and the heat's on in the hotel, so your whole body's warm, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, cold spot. Hold on, let me go back, and then you feel, and it's like, yeah, it's right there, in one little tiny spot, and obviously you want to check for like heat vents or air conditioning on in one little spot, so you check all of that to make sure, because it's easier to debunk, like Ashley said, make sure that you go through and check every logical thing before you consider just paranormal or something out of the ordinary.
I think you see it even in your own homes. Like, for example, my house, you know, buildings aren't created equally. My house,
Yeah.
my room gets crazy hot, but my daughters will stay freezing, like 30 degrees colder. And, same floor, but just different parts of the house. And so, different insulation, different, who knows? Or maybe she's got like 10 ghosts having a party in her room. I don't know. But like, buildings aren't created equally.
Are you central heat and air in your house?
We have it's got two different units, one for the main level, one for upstairs, but it is supposed to be central. It's just
Oh, okay.
a dedicated like air conditioner furnace for upstairs and then a dedicated one for the main level. I don't know
Okay.
why they built it that way, but like
Yeah.
again, it's so interesting because her room is significantly colder and I'm just like
Hmm.
I'm sweating in my room and she's freezing in hers.
I would love that because I'm very hot natured. I like a good 65, 66-degree room. I'm good. I love that.
Same. Yep. Same.
Easier to add layers,
Yeah,
It's true.
absolutely.
Has there been any place that you've watched or read about that is reported to be haunted that you've ever wanted to visit?
N- Um, we've only ever driven past, like, I grew up in the suburbs of Dallas, a city called Mesquite, and it's always urban legend stuff. It's like, I heard this house is haunted, and we never actually walked into the house. We drove past there, and sure, it looked creepy. We went at night and all that stuff, but we didn't experience anything supernatural or unexplainable. Um, and there's lots of urban legend stuff that you hear, and some people say, "Oh, this totally happened." Like, you park your car on railroad tracks, and suddenly your car is in neutral, and it gets pushed off the railroad tracks, and there's baby powder you put on your back window, and little kids' handprints are there that pushed your car off the tracks. And I've heard that supposed urban legend happen in more than one city in more than one state. So it's like, well, that kind of taints the
I guess it depends on the origin because I've always been fascinated with this idea of like spirits are not bound to one place necessarily. Like
yes.
we see them as very linear, right? You're stuck in this house, you're stuck on this land. But like, if you believe in it, demons, ghosts, those kind of things, like why would they be bound? They're not bound to flesh anymore. So why are they bound to property lines? I don't
Yeah.
know.
We had another urban legend, the Lady of White Rock Lake, which again also happens in other cities and states. Like, oh, you pick up this girl hitchhiking and she's just wet, she's drenched head to toe, and you find out later, or she disappears or something, and then you learn that, oh, that's someone that was drowned in the lake. Uh, they're just trying to leave, like, get me out of here, and they're just stuck in
Take me
eternity.
home. I mean,
Take
that's
me
really
home.
depressing.
Yes, it's dark.
Stuck
It's
drenched for eternity.
it's crossover of true crime meets, paranormal.
And a lot of these urban legends are supposed to be rooted in like moral of the story or cautionary tales. And with those, I kind of obviously, don't pick up hitchhikers. But for these ladies that have been drowned, it's like, what's the warning on that part?
Yeah. I tell you, even though I haven't seen ghosts or experienced weird things like that, I think, and this crosses into the true crime thing, investigating places where occult rituals happened. you've got the symbols painted on the wall, or proof that either animals or worse was sacrificed, because that's just creepy on its own right. Whether those people are invoking spirits or demons, the fact that they're doing this with that belief and hurting or harming animals or children or other people, that's pretty creepy. So, John, have you ever investigated something? It's like, oh, this place is supposedly haunted, da 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 da, and then stumble upon something unexpected, like occult symbols or.
Demons.
No symbols. I did go to a cemetery that, yeah, um, my favorite cemetery ever. It's one of the oldest ones here in Colorado, and I had a friend that wanted to go check it out at night, and I'm like, yeah, we're not going to be able to get in because gates are locked at night because you're not supposed to be in there. We drive up, and sure enough, the gate opens, and I'm like, oh god, here we go. So it let us in for some reason. I don't know why, but it did. But we went up and we parked by the big mausoleum. Figured we can't miss the building. We're fine there. Get out and we walk around and we get lost in a cemetery, which was weird because we were walking around the edge and you would think that you wouldn't get lost, but we got lost. And then all of a sudden we heard footsteps behind us, like 4 footsteps, like for like an animal, maybe a dog or something. Turn around and look, there's nothing there. Okay, a little freaked out, whatever, keep walking a little bit, still trying to find our way back to the car. Then all of a sudden, it's like surrounds us. You can hear footsteps all around us. And then weird howling that didn't sound like a dog, didn't sound like a coyote, I don't know what it sounded like, but it was just weird and scary. Again, turn around and look, there's nothing anywhere. Use the light from the
Ooh.
flashlight, nothing there at all. We freak out, start running, and you can hear it running behind us, and still nothing. And then as soon as we figured out where we were, it all stopped. So I that was very weird and unexplainable, and I never want to go back, although I kind of do, but
Not at night.
no, definitely not at night. It's creepy during the day too. But yeah, it was one of the weirdest things that I've experienced. I haven't run into anything like Ashley did, but
I don't like to run into those things. That just happens to be my luck in life, okay?
yeah, that's very true. Very true.
It's meant to
Very
be.
true.
I don't like this meant to be. I don't, no. I think I'd like a happier meant to be. Like, wouldn't it be great to stumble upon like a bakery with brownies, and instead you've got like demons die here?
That's true. I saw something on TikTok that really intrigued me because I drive a Tesla, and it was showing the screen. And when you're in a cemetery, you see people walking, and then the camera pans up, and there's no one there. And
Have
then
you
I
tested
Google
it with yours?
No, but I Googled it to see, like, what's the whole thing about ghost detection with Teslas? And the AI overview here says it is not real. It's a misunderstanding of how the car's collision avoidance system misinterprets inanimate objects like tombstones, and it misinterprets them as pedestrians.
However,
Yes.
on those TikTok videos,
Yes.
I am curious because the tombstones are further away and
That's true.
the bodies are like clustered around the car.
Yes.
And so that's when I'm like, yes, Tesla AI. However,
Uh-huh.
is that a made up video or what's happening? Because the headstones that are out there are not right clustered around the car like that.
Yeah, I haven't tried it. I do want to try it, even though with this explanation, I am curious to see if that happens all the time. Like if you go during the day, does it matter? Or like the collision avoidance system thing. I don't know if that's the matter of daytime or nighttime, the lack of light.
Yeah. That's what I'd be curious if at nighttime, if it's just a little less accurate and that's why it looks like it's surrounding the car a la zombie style. If it's because, like you said, the accuracy at night's less because of the light, and I imagine there's more reflection going on of different things in the cemetery.
Yeah, and I don't know about you guys, but cemeteries where I've lived, they close at a certain point and you can't get in.
Exactly,
At
They
like
close
I
at
was trying to
dark.
say with the one, yeah, because of the dark after,
Yeah.
dusk, and you're not supposed to be able to get in, but no, that cemetery wanted me in. So, yeah,
Oh, well.
damn cemetery.
Hmm. I'm curious. Although some cemeteries, depending on the age of the cemetery, they don't have gates that close. So
True.
potentially you might just happen to, oops, I turned down the wrong road.
And this pivots into tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. Has anyone heard of new cemeteries being built? They're all old.
That's true, that's weird.
I mean, the one in the town I live in, it just keeps getting expanded.
But at some point, there's not going to be any more room. So then what do you do? I mean, for the people that want to be cremated like me, I'm like, hey, cool, I'm going to be ashes. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, you never hear about new cemeteries being built. And yeah, ones I've been to, I can see plots of land where they haven't put burial things yet. But eventually, because you think about it, the population, it continues to grow. And yeah, circle of life thing, X number of people are born, X number of people are died. And, I guess there's some sort of balance. But, things that make you go,
I mean, maybe the places are doing kind of what that funeral home got busted for in Colorado, where they just were stockpiling the bodies and there were like 200 bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I again bringing it back to TikTok about someone that said that they were a funeral director or something and claiming that they were just burying empty caskets because it hardly weighed what it would with a person in it. And it's like, what are they doing with the corpses?
Hmm.
Makes you rethink the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
They did something like that at one of the parks here too, where they were like cutting up bodies and putting bodies in different caskets. That's the word I was looking for. Had a brain fart. But yeah, they were doing that, and then there's still a bunch of bodies buried underneath. Where is that? I can't remember the park. Cheeseman Park here in Colorado. I had weird experiences there too. That was weird.
They're just not
So
moving the bodies.
yeah,
That's right, just like Poltergeist.
You want a ghost? That's how you get a
that's how you
ghost.
get a ghost. Yeah, there was one year where a lady was walking through Cheeseman Park, and it had been raining a lot, like through the whole year, and she stumbled upon like a skull and stuff that had come out from the ground. And so yeah, that was a whole news thing, which was weird. But yeah, we had an experience there with the spirit box at one point. We were there with a paranormal group, and one of our old hosts, he was there, but he had to leave to go pick up his parents at the airport. He was like, "Okay, spirits, I'll see you later." And then you hear with like a Russian voice, "Fucking bitch." And it was weird, and it came through the spirit box. It was very strange and not something that you would hear like through a radio station or anything else, but it was just crazy. Yeah.
Man, I have just such a hard time with technology when it's involved because of just like the ability for interference to happen. I mean, you have baby monitors that pick up like little CV radios. And so it's just like, I don't know. I have a hard time with technology and trusting like the voices that are heard coming through. Are we sure that's not coming from other electronic devices, right? Especially when you hear something like that where something's just talking shit to you. Like it just, are we sure it's not the kid up the street whose little like gift set that they got for Christmas is interfering with something picking up your radio station channels?
It's fun.
I mean, we hear like interference on my kids' Spider-Man walkie-talkies that should be cheap and pick up nothing else. And you hear people up the street, who is this? And it's like, change the station. Turn that off.
Oh God.
Don't talk to adults you don't know.
Yeah. Are you hearing ghosts or are you hearing someone's cell phone conversation or cordless phone conversation? Because some scanners used to be able to pick that up and then they banned those frequencies and people could sit there and just listen to what you're saying on the phone. Like, whoa.
I mean, so many of these devices are picking up things. Even like, I'll be at the gym and I have like the Bluetooth headphones, and my headphones have accidentally connected to other people's music. And technically,
Yes.
you're supposed to actively pair and like connect to and so it shouldn't be doing that in theory, right? But like electronics don't always work as they're supposed to. So suddenly I'm listening to someone's song and I'm like, that's not my music. And then someone's like, my headphones aren't working. And it's like, it's because I'm connected to your phone. I've actually picked up, I'm assuming a person's call. Maybe it was a ghost at the gym, but it's just suddenly I hear, hello, hello. It's not what you think. And I'm like, huh? Who is this?
Yeah, my smart TV, I'll get a pop-up notification on there. So and so Bluetooth device connect, and I'm like, no.
No. I can turn on devices like TVs with my phone. And that's the thing. So when you hear about TVs going on and off, it's good to know that, like, hey, maybe your neighbor is trying to connect their Apple TV and it's accidentally connecting to your TV. Because for me, it doesn't need like my phone, as long as it picks up the signal of a TV, it doesn't have to actually be a part of it. Because as soon as you click on the TV you want to connect to pair, it'll turn it on. So it's like those things you got to think about, right? That's why I have a really hard time when it comes to electronics with paranormal investigations. Not to say they can't be useful, but in and of themselves, it's like there's so many ways they can go wrong and not work as intended that it makes it a little harder to be reliable.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know. John, what's your take on that?
I don't know either. I just know that one time, well, actually, it was a few times, I was freaking out because I was sitting in my bedroom and I turned on my TV. But then all of a sudden, I would hear the living room TV on, and I was the only one home. And I'm like, what's going on? Turns out that my remote, if it was facing a different way, it would turn on the living room TV, which was weird. I'm like, what the heck? So I tested that out and figured that out. But yeah, I was freaking out for like a month. I'm like, there's something turning on the TV in the living room. I don't understand.
Ghosts of electronics.
Yes.
I think the only time that's freaked me out is when when I lived in Minnesota, when my light in my bedroom kept going on at the same time every night. And I didn't have close neighbors. And I'm just like,
Hmm.
because it did have a remote. So it's one of those that, like, okay, maybe somebody else's RF, is picking it up, but there was nobody around to do that. So I'm like, we're not going to say it's a ghost, but
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Well, this has been really, really awesome, Kyle. I've loved having you on. Do we
Thank
have
you.
any final things, questions, topics we want to talk about before we wrap it up?
I don't know. If you like horror, support it. Go see it in the cinema, because I think people need to get out. I know it's stupid expensive, but AMC does have their discount days. Go on the discount day if you're not a A-list member or whatever. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, I think it's important to go enjoy the movie as a cinematic experience. I know it kind of sucks when people have lost all sense of decorum and social boundaries, and everyone's playing on their phones or texting or not shutting up during the movies. But hopefully you'll go to a nice auditorium and a great screening where you could just truly immerse yourselves in the thing. And if you like it, support it by when it comes to home to streaming, support it with a rental or purchase the physical media. I'm a big proponent of purchasing a 4K steelbook. It's never going to go away the way it does on streaming. You'll always have your copy because you paid for it. It's yours.
And do you have any projects you'd like to shout out to?
Sure. So you can hear me as Garozemon. He's a giant talking frog in this new show on Netflix, an anime called Yaiba Samurai Legend. And if you're a Sonic fan, the new Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, I voice Big the Cat.
Awesome. And of course, you've got your crazy impressive repertoire of voices you've done on your resume. So look up Kyle. He's amazing. Kyle Hebert,
Thank you.
Hebert.
That's right. A bear is attacking me. Oh no. Rawr, garr.
Thank you so much for coming on, Kyle. This has been awesome.
Awesome sauce. Yes, indeed. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. All right, John Thomas, you want to bring us home?
All right. Thank you again, Kyle. It was nice to meet you and always fun to talk horror with a horror fan, and would love to have you on again if we can any other time.
You and your spooky pants?
Spooky
Woohoo!
pants. Yeah. Thank you to all of our listeners for listening to this episode of 3Haunted Podcast with your host. I'm John Thomas.
I am Ashley Lunar Goddess.
If you have any questions, comments, or episode suggestions, please feel free to email us at 3hauntedpodcast@gmail.com. And if you haven't done so already, please like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media. You don't want to miss amazing guests like Mr. Kyle here.
Also, don't forget to check out 3Haunted Podcast at 3hauntedpodcast.com, where you'll find our past and current season episodes, as well as guest information and all kinds of awesome merch. Until next time.